we're live. Hi, I'm Ryan McDonald.
Hey, I'm Rich Gallup. How's everybody doing?
Welcome to another edition of On the Spot. We're playing right now. We're doing a little SVC chaos, so sorry about that. We got a little distracted for the show, but we're ready to rock. We got a great show lined up for you. Want to tell them about it?
Sure, Ryan. Actually, you spent a little bit of time last week in Venice, Italy,
right.
Checking out what?
I got to go see the world premiere of a work-in-progress cut, which was 24 minutes long, of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which of course is Square Enix's next feature-length film that they're going to release. And yeah, they showed it at the Venice Film Festival, and it was something to see. I got to tell you. So we got a little package. I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff that we got to see, and we got a really cool thing, which was we got a chance to sit down with Mr. Nomura, who of course is the legendary director of the Final Fantasy series, and so we'll have some of that later in the show.
Very cool. Also coming up in the show, we're going to have our own Justin Calvert here. You might remember Jeff and I last week talked a little bit about London Gamers Week, the 3 simultaneous events going on. We sent a whole team over there, including Justin Calvert, as well as cameraman Tyler Weingartner, and we're going to have some video from Tyler, and Justin will be sitting in this very chair talking to you.
That's right. Now, we did show a little bit from last week. Tyler was pretty quick with the camera action. He got some shots from the show, kind of a little teaser. So if you saw that last week, don't think this is a rerun or anything like that. We got plenty of new stuff to show you. I saw some of the stuff that Tyler was cutting earlier, and one of the things I got to see was a guy dressed up in the full Master Chief armor and stuff, so it looks really cool. But yeah, after that, we're going to have a little NBA showdown, little preseason action. We got NBA Live and ESPN NBA 2K5. Be showing those off, little head-to-head. They don't come out until October, so we'll give you basketball fans an idea of what's going to be coming out.
Great, yeah, we had we have producers for both games in the studio, and we have video clips of both games. They look pretty cool.
They did.
That dunk contest thing for NBA Live, that looks a little crazy.
They brought back the 3-point contest.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sure, as long as the drumming's there, I'm cool with it. Also, we have some SVC Chaos. You just saw us playing right there, kicking into the show. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to actually beat you in a fighting game.
I was doing pretty good there. I think
I was doing all right too.
The other thing that we're going to be having, of course, we'll be taking your questions throughout the show. So if you're a GameSpot Complete member, just look below the player right here, and you'll see that there's a little form that you can automatically build in your email into and send it off to us, and it'll reach us right here on the set. And I see that we already got some coming in. So we're going to be taking those questions and maybe catching up on some last week, because there was a whole bunch of them that came in. So we'll be touching on that.
Also, what came in from viewer mail was we were told about this band called 14-Year-Old Girl, and now they're a cool band, Southern California, and they play some, it's kind of indie rock stuff, and they actually sent us some videos for a couple songs, and videos include, let's see, they got this thing called Qtipless, which is a song.
They got some Qbert action.
Yeah,
in there,
it's cool animated stuff. It's got Qbert. They're bouncing around. I think I saw like the A-Team band with like a helicopter blade coming out of it.
The neat thing about that is one of the guys that's in the band. He's not only a big video game fan, but he also designs games. And he's a fan of the show. So if you're watching out there, thanks for sending it in. But we're going to be rolling that stuff. And actually, if we've got a chance, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip that's called Game Trafficking. Well, there you go. That was actually the Qbert Bliss action, or I should say Qtipless.
Qtipless with the A-Team as van as a helicopter or something. That's cool. Now, did they draw that? Do you know? Or
I don't know who did that for him, but I thought it was pretty cool, and I wanted to show it. And so, but actually, here's the other clip we want to take a look at, which is the game trafficking.
Inside of me, all the youth that's first to play.
crazy cool, huh?
That was something, I guess. So what if you want to learn more about a 14-year-old girl, Ryan?
They can go to retarddisco.com. That's the band's label. They got an album coming out this October. It's called Strategy Guide, so it's kind of cool. I kind of dig it. I definitely would recommend checking it out. But also, I would say that one of the cool things was, they came in. The guy's a fan of the show and sent his stuff in. So if you're a fan of the show and you have some cool stuff that you want to show off and think we'd like it, go ahead and send it in. If you have any questions, just send it on the spot at gamespot.com. But we got some other fun stuff lined up right now, right?
We sure do. And also keep your questions coming in through the form you see on the site right now. GameSpot Complete members, fill it out, send us some questions. We'll take them at the end of the show. But also, coming up next is the meat of the show. I want to know, Ryan, about your trip to Venice, Italy, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
It's, we'll roll the clip here in a sec, but before, let me set it up a little bit. I'll kind of be talking over when we roll it. But yeah, it was kind of amazing. It was like really short. We had to fly out there basically on Thursday, which a day of travel, and then get to the event, and then from there it was just a whirlwind tour of like 2 screenings. One to check it out, 24 minutes long, and then they did interviews with Nomura and some of the guys, members of the team, before and after we saw it. Plus they did a couple press conferences. It was crazy, and like the thing that was really neat was the fact that people just went crazy, as you're about to see. Let's go ahead and take a look. So in Venice, Italy, it's basically this beautiful landscape that you always see and you always hear about. And at the film festival, Venice Film Festival, we got a chance to not only check out the film festival, but also catch up with some of the team members from Square Enix who are working on Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Now, Mr. Nomura, he took some time out and gave us a few words about what Final Fantasy VII Advent Children is all about.
We can say that 3 new entries for the enemies, three men, garage, dogs, and Yaz. So the story will develop with these new enemies. And also there are one boy, Denzel, who has brought up the crowd for when he was young and his orphanage. So these are the new characters. The story is actually the stage is 2 years after from the Final Fantasy VII. The Cloud, hero of the Final Fantasy, who has lost what was living for. Through this story, he will find out what is worth living. So for tonight, it's a 24 minutes version, but it will maybe thrown out for the 3 or 4 times much longer.
People started lining up immediately. You can see here's a crowd of people all eagerly awaiting their chance to see Final Fantasy VII Advent Children for the first time. Once they opened the doors, people started filing in, and the whole room, the whole theater actually filled up quite quickly, as you're about to see. The other thing that was really cool is after people filed in, the team was treated to a standing ovation by the audience, and as they took their seats, I mean, it was overwhelming. Basically, everybody got all excited. Then after the screening, unfortunately, we can't show you in the 24 minutes, but people mobbed Nomura outside of the theater, looking for autographs and all kinds of fun stuff.
Certainly, this one was fantastic, which I want to bring to Montreal so that Canadian experience what we experienced tonight.
After the screening, and we went back to a press reception where they fielded more questions.
Final Fantasy VII, they pushed the live stream out, out of the planet. If you were exposed to the live stream directly from the planet, that strong live stream that it shot out, people who were exposed to it were starting to get sick. Being exposed to that high level live stream combined with the bad part of Genova, that's what's making people sick, and that's what geostigma is. He saw it himself, and he felt like, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to keep going, I'm going to work hard. I hope that the fans will watch it and feel the same. Like someone who's just tired or having a hard time can watch it and feel good.
Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
So that was our look at Final Fantasy Advent, at least the event for Final Fantasy Advent Children. And joining me on the set now is our very own Justin Calvert. How you doing, Justin?
Hey, Ryan. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Now, I wasn't the only one over in Europe last week, was I? You were also. Right?
No, that's right. Yeah, we actually had a team of 5 of us over there last week.
Right on.
Yeah, it used to be we flew over every year for like ECTS, but this year it was EGN and Gamestars Live that were our main reasons for going.
Hey, what is Gamestars Live? What is that all about?
Okay, Gamestars Live is basically Gamestars Live and EGN are kind of one package. They're held at the same convention center, like just across the hall from each other. And they're actually been organised by ELSPA primarily, which is the European equivalent of the ESA, and also TIGA, which is like a similar organisation.
So while we're looking at shots of London here, why don't you go ahead and tell me what happened to ECTS? Why did it get replaced by EGN? What's going on there?
I'm not really sure. I mean, ECTS has been pretty much dying a slow and painful death the last few years. It's, I think they used to charge a lot of money for publishers to exhibit there.
Oh wow!
And so increasingly, like publishers were just thinking, okay, it's actually cheaper for us to put on our own show.
Gotcha. Now this show was actually open to the public, right?
Yeah, Gamestars Live. We had like a morning there for like 2.5 hours. It was press only, and after that it was like 4.5 days open to the public.
Oh wow! Kind of like the way TGS is set up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So what sort of games were there? What'd you see? What'd you like playing?
I mean, a lot of the stuff there was actually stuff we'd already seen at E3, but we managed to find quite a few. We had like a first play of The Sims 2, first play of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, Mario Tennis, got some single-player Time Splitters Future Perfect in. So.
How was how was Splinter Cell?
So I actually didn't play that when Jason played that
really?
one, but yeah, I think he was pretty impressed.
Now, isn't there a crazy amount of people that showed up over the 5 days of this show or something?
Yeah, it was pretty successful. It was Gamestars Live over the 5 days had like over 51,000 visitors.
Wow.
EGN I think had like almost 4,000 like professionals there.
That's crazy. Are they planning to continue with this show in the coming years?
Yeah, they've actually already confirmed the dates for next year. It's kicking off like August 31st, and it's a 5-day event again. I
gotcha. Now, with the Gamestars Live we were talking about, what's the whole deal with the European Games Network, or the EGN, like we've been talking?
Yeah, the EGN show was basically very much like trade-only thing. Like it was, every single kind of booth was the same. So like EA was in a plain white booth next to really small developers and stuff. So everyone's just there on an even footing, and it's all really just for seeing stuff behind closed doors and attending meetings.
Right on. Now, what was there? That wasn't actually open to the general public, right?
No. That was like trade-only.
Trade-only, just trade folks.
Yeah.
Now, any idea how many industry folks showed up at the event?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, I think it was like 3,700 or something.
Oh, and that was the 4,000 you're talking about?
I think, yeah, and they haven't released figures for ECTS yet, but I'm thinking that ECTS probably didn't get a fraction of that this year.
Wow. So now, what does that leave ECTS now that you got all this stuff going on?
I don't know, they're real quiet right now. They're not saying a lot.
Is the industry still going to actually show games there?
I don't know, it's, I mean, there's no way they can have the two shows running at the same time again, because they were on like opposite sides of London, and it was really difficult to travel between the two. So I mean, we spent almost all of our time, on the east side of London at the Excel Centre.
Wow.
So.
Now, I did get to see the Master Chief guy in the suit. Did you get a chance to see him there?
Yeah, they had two there actually. They had a red guy and a blue guy.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and they also had stormtroopers there, and all the kind of stuff you'd expect at E3. Really, it was just like a little mini E3.
Little mini E3. Now, you guys turned out a tremendous amount of coverage there. How did you guys do it?
I think the secret was staying up till 3:30 in the morning, pretty much.
Right on. So, out of all the stuff, you were there for like basically a total of how many days?
I guess we're at the show for like 3 days, and then I was there for a couple other days.
Right on. So, out of the whole event, what was the thing that you saw that you were just like, oh my god?
Actually, the thing that took me by surprise was Lego Star Wars, which I totally wasn't expecting to even be there.
Really?
And it just looks really good. Like we haven't actually been allowed to run any footage or screenshots of it yet, but we've got that stuff waiting in the wings, and as soon as the embargo's lifted, that stuff's going up.
This is actually Lego Star Wars we're looking at here.
Okay, so we are allowed to run it now.
Hopefully that's okay with everybody watching. But so Lego Star Wars, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it's superb. And it has like a 2-player co-op mode, and you can just do a ton of good stuff in it.
I think I got some questions here from you. This comes in. Ashley Dukes from Wales, UK. This is back in your land. Do you have any idea about any reason why Bungie would be upset with the PR company running the Halo 2 section? Any views on that? That's a pretty specific question.
Yeah, I have no idea.
This one's for Justin. This comes from Austin Starr from San Diego. He definitely says good accent and fits the piece perfectly. So thanks for sending your questions in. Now, the stuff that we're looking at here, this is the show floor. That was the show floor of EGN.
Right. Yeah.
Walking down the thing. Excellent. Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Excellent.
Good to see you.
We're going to sneak our man Rich Gallup in here pretty quick so that we can go ahead and take a look at some games. But before we do that, we're actually going to take a look at right now at NBA Live 2005. Joining me on the set now is Tim Cherner, who is the producer of NBA Live 2005. What do you got for us to take a look at today? This is a pretty much near final build.
Yeah, this is late alpha build.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us some of the new things you guys put in this year?
Like the by far biggest thing this year is that we added the NBA All-Star Weekend. So that includes all 4 events. It includes the Rookie Challenge, the NBA All-Star Game, and the three-point shootout and the slam dunk contest. We came up with a mechanic that we call freestyle dunking, where we string together 7 different animations. So it's everything from ball toss, a takeoff, like the stage in air, then you do your trick, and then you do your finish. And after that, you can do a celebration. And you can go in with up to 4 players at the same time. We also have a split screen version of this, where you can go head to head against another user or the CPU at the same time.
So while we're loading this up, you mentioned 2 other things that we're going to take a look at after this. What are those 2 things?
Oh well, we should definitely have a look at the three-point shootout. It's something that wasn't live before, and it got lost, in I think the transition to the PS2, and now it's back, and it's better than ever. It obviously looks much better than it looked before. It's about 35 different unique signature shooting styles that we have in this one. And what's cool about that is you actually have to learn the timing for every shooting style. So you have to learn, like for all these different styles, what's the sweet spot when I have to release the ball. Mechanics are pretty simple. R1 just picks up the ball. Any face button is shoot, so you hold it and then you release it at the right time. And with the left trigger, you can just change your camera angle on the fly. We should have a look at the Rookie Challenge. What we did for that is we made the gameplay experience really different from normal 5-on-5. It's really all fast-paced action. It's all about offense first. There's no defense. It's much faster, and we've added one little nice little gimmick to it, which is the self alley-oop off the backboard. So if you press down the right analog stick, you're gonna alley-oop it off the backboard to yourself, just like T-Mac did 2 years ago, and which like pretty much everybody's doing during the All-Star Game. So we just had to have it. So and the second part to that, so like you press down on the right analog, that gives you the alley-oop, but then in order to just throw it down, that's where freestyle air comes in, which is one of the big new things in gameplay this year. So that exists in the All-Star Game, but also in regular gameplay. Another thing is that I almost take for granted now, but the CPU actually now uses freestyle moves as well, which they didn't do in the past. So if you play against the CPU here, everything that you can do, they can do as well.
Well, excellent. I think that's about all the time we have. But I super appreciate you coming by and
it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have some more media and some fun stuff, not only in the immediate future, but also up until the game's release, which is October 5th.
Yep.
PS2, Xbox,
GameCube, PC.
Fantastic.
And PS2, PC, and Xbox can be on.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks again for coming by.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
Very cool stuff. Yeah. It's kind of weird seeing you double Ryan right there.
That was like a little fade, and he's like.
And then twin brothers, huh? Something like that.
Totally.
That's cool. Yeah. What I especially liked seeing in that clip was Gary Payton in a Celtics jersey. Will that actually happen? I don't think it will. He's going to retire, and the Celtics are going to use that money elsewhere. But it's still cool to see. I can always dream.
That's right. You're the big Boston fan, right? And you're rocking the Patriots. Right?
Rocking the Patriots stuff. NFL season starts tonight. The title defense begins tonight. That's cool.
Before we go too crazy and talk about a bunch of basketball and football stuff, should we go ahead and take a look at ESPN NBA?
Sure.
All right, let's take a look. Welcome to the show, Derek.
Hey, thank you very much.
Now, you actually have a build of the game. How far along is the build we're going to check out today?
I'd say we're at beta right now. We're pretty close to final. We're just tuning various parts of the game to try to make it as tight as possible, but we're just about there.
Excellent. Now, we were just checking out some NBA Live, so we wanted to see what you guys have to offer this year. Why don't you go ahead and jump in and show us around a little bit?
Sure. One of the biggest things that we're doing this year gameplay-wise is something we call the next movement. And what that is our player movement simulating things like momentum and velocity. So if you watch the player running around the court, you'll see a lot of nice little cut animations. You'll see him accelerate, decelerate, and stop. And it does 2 things, really. The first thing, it makes it look much more natural for users. It looks more like real life, more like real basketball. And secondly, it gives the defense a little bit of an advantage. One problem with a lot of games in the past was that you can move around on offense very quickly, very fast, and not have the ability or time to react to it on defense. So when we play off some of these animations, you'll get this little visual cue that the offender is doing something, just to give you that little extra time to react to what's going on.
So before we move on to some other stuff, what do you think is going to be the first thing that a fan of last year's game is going to notice right off the bat?
The fans of last year, I think, will notice the realism, the amount of realism and detail that we've put into this year's game. We've added a lot of context-sensitive animations where players will be calling for the ball when they're open, will be reacting to collisions, a lot of minute details, real small things, but when you add it all together, it really creates an atmosphere of realism. It looks like the real deal NBA, behaves like the real NBA.
Now, the one other thing you were telling us was you were talking to me about 24/7, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Now, 24/7 was really a mode that we set up last year for the fans. It did two things for us. One, it gave them a mode that was different from the exhibition 5-on-5 play. It gives them an opportunity to use a lot of the one-on-one moves more. And it also served as sort of training mode.
And so 24/7 refers to like the lifestyle of an NBA player 24/7?
It has a lot of different meanings. That's one of them. The big meaning came from linking the game mode itself to the BIOS clock. What I mean by that is your game console will have an internal clock, and as the game progresses, different challenges will appear based on what time of day it is.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, a lot of your opponents, who are real NBA players, will tend to frequent different areas and different challenges during different times of the day.
Oh, wow.
Other big changes include the amount of items we've added. We've added over 150 items to 24/7, different things that you can earn, everything from shoes to accessories like watches, cell phones. And one of the really cool things we've added this year is warm-ups. So you can have a full warm-up jersey, you can win warm-up pants, warm-up tops, or put them together to make a complete set.
Now, you guys are shipping Xbox, PS2, those the two consoles?
Those are the two platforms.
And that's this October?
Yes.
What's the day?
We haven't released an exact date yet, but we're looking at first week, second week of October.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
If you want to see more on ESPN NBA 2K5, by all means, be sure to check back the site tomorrow for more media information, as well as next week, when we'll be talking more about the franchise mode. And you were telling me some cool stuff was in there, right?
Yes, most definitely.
Right on. Well, then, thanks again for coming by. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
And we're back. That was ESPN NBA 2K5. I like how they got the ESPN license. It's really easy to remember the names now.
Yeah, totally.
You just get the ESPN, what's the league, 2K5, sure. Now, you saw both of those games. What did you see?
You know, it's funny because like both the games seem fairly familiar. You know, I played a bunch of last year's games, so they both seem pretty much right in line with what you should expect. The one thing that's definitely true is the presentation that they've done for both games is they just blew it out. It's like total TV broadcast. It's like you might have thought last year's were TV broadcasts. This year, the stuff they're doing, it's crazy. Like the player models, the producer was telling me that they're basically bumped up the polygon count of the players on the court and dropped stuff out. So when they're doing like the intros, the presentations like that, I mean, they look super realistic. I mean, they look just like their real life counterparts. So that's pretty cool. The other thing in like ESPN NBA 2K5 is that they basically finally got a full 3D polygonal crowd. And while it might not sound that cool, when you actually see those people jumping up out of their seats, cheering, waving their hands, it does look really good. So the first thing I definitely noticed about both of them is they looked a lot better than last year's games. As far as like the freestyle control stuff you got going on with the NBA Live, it's like they were showing us, you could totally put in these shots where you're kind of faking one side and then you're modifying it in the middle of it, so you can totally not only fake out real life human opponents, whether online or right next to you, but also the AI even. The AI, they've implemented it so like in last year's game, the AI really didn't take advantage of a lot of the tricks that you could do. This year they changed it so that the AI will actually use those moves and those things against you, but at the same hand, it'll fall for those tricks. So I got to see the guy, fake him out with a little shot here, but move over to the other side while he went up for the block. So yeah, both of the games are looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited, and we're still a ways out from October, so they're going to be tweaking and tuning and getting those games to look as good as possible and play as good as possible all the way up until October.
Very cool. And if you want to see more on both of those games right now, we have a ton of stuff on the site, right?
Yeah, totally. We're going to have more in the coming days, and next week for sure we're going to have a big blowout on ESPN for sure.
Very cool, very cool. Also, what we put up a couple weeks ago, I mentioned on Let's GameSpot once, is we have a tutorial movie or two on how to complete the dunk contest in NBA Live, which is difficult. I mean, Bob tried it. He struggled a little bit with it, but it looks like when you get it to work, it works really well. So that's definitely worth checking out. Now, Ryan, do we have any questions about NBA Live and ESPN NFL?
We've got so many questions about so much stuff. Let me go ahead and pick, can I do the Warhammer one real quick?
Yeah, fine. Do the Warhammer question real quick.
All right, cool. This is from Alan Goody from Vancouver, British Columbia. He wants to know anything about Warhammer. If we checked it out, tell me something about anything. The cool thing is, right now, if you go to GameSpot, right after the show, we're a few minutes out from the end of the show. If you go back to the site, you're going to find that we have a Warhammer demo. We have a premiere of the Warhammer demo, so you don't even have to ask us. You can go ahead and download the demo and try it out yourself. So that answers your question.
That's hiding also. It's not hiding. It's on GameSpot DLX right now, dlx.gamespot.com. You find the Warhammer Dawn of War game space. Just run a GameSpot search for Warhammer Dawn of War. You'll find it, download it, play it. Tell us what you think.
The other thing is, speaking of demos, I'm going to go ahead before we go back into the basketball
Sure,
action,
go ahead.
Is tomorrow we have a demo premiering for Tribes of Vengeance as well. So we'll get, come back tomorrow if you want to get your Tribes of Vengeance on and check it out for sure.
Very cool, very cool. Now, are there any basketball questions as well, or?
There is, basically, this comes from Tennessee from D-Ray Junk. He wants to know, bottom line, which is looking better at this point in development. Right now, I don't know, it's like NBA Live's got a ton of stuff in there. The slam dunk contest, three-point stuff, in addition to the regular game, plus all the crazy stuff they usually do. ESPN's got the 24/7 stuff. It's got, they've added a lot to both games. So, right now it's still a little ways out. I don't want to say anything yet. We'll get closer to October when they get final or more final versions, and we'll start comparing them. But the crazy thing is, both games look really, really good. So I'm going to say, if whatever game you were a fan with last year, you're probably going to be, liking this next year. That last year they were pretty close. So I definitely was playing a little bit both here and there. So I definitely know. We'll just have to wait a little bit longer and see which one comes out on top in terms of the fine touches that they're going to add.
And while we're talking about winter sports, also stay tuned for a feature coming up. Hopefully I'm not tipping my hand or anything, but GameSpot has a new sports editor. His name's Brian Eckberg. He's a really cool guy. And if you like hockey, you're wondering what you're going to do if and when the NHL season gets locked out, stay tuned to GameSpot. He'll have your answer in the next few days.
The other thing, since we're promoting stuff, I got a big one. This one's huge.
You really want to tip? You really want to say it right now? You want to say it right now?
Why not? Let's just say it right
sure,
now.
Fine. Say it right now.
So come back tonight at midnight if you want new exclusive information on Halo 2.
What?
Yes.
New exclusive information on what?
Halo 2.
Halo 2. I think I've heard of that game.
Yes. So tonight at midnight, be sure to come back to GameSpot.com. Boom. Halo 2, baby.
Should be cool.
It should be definitely
I've heard,
cool.
Actually, speaking of Halo 2, you kids keep asking us questions about ilovebees.com. I have an update for you. An update on ilovebees.com is that the cookie recipe on there is pretty good. Becca made them for me last night. Some of the GameSpot Live guys have them this morning. And the Beelicious honey cookies, make them. They're good. It's got chocolate, peanut butter, honey. Yeah, that's all you need from ilovebees.com is that cookie recipe.
So we're running out of time here. We're going to throw on some SVC Chaos before we go?
Yeah, how about, want to play SVC Chaos while we take questions?
Yeah, sure, totally.
All right, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Okay.
Grab it. Where'd our TV go?
It is right there, and it is rocking the solid black.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, let's take some questions
Excellent.
then. So I have a question here for you, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
From Magnus Krantz in Stockholm, Sweden. I think Magnus has written us quite a few times. And Magnus wants to know, who is making all the music for your shows and music videos, like the game spotting music? Alex Navarro plays RoboCop on Xbox, the intro. Who's making all this great music we use? You hear on every single GameSpot Live piece.
I'm going to say my man John Druckmann.
Yeah, you can say that.
I'm going to say my man John Druckmann then.
Sure. Also known as Bass Kittens. If you look at the credits on any feature show made on GameSpot Live, you'll see it's Bass Kittens. He has a webpage, basskittens.com. Check it out. He has a slew of music. I think Tim told me that he had a track remixed by the Dust Brothers once, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, by the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah.
My bad.
I think he did some stuff with 9 Inch Nails and
Really?
all kinds of crazy
All I know
stuff.
is his music is amazing,
Yeah.
and if you like the techno beats, check it out. He knows, and other music like Dave, it's worth checking out. Basskittens.com.
We got our SVC Chaos going.
Oh, sweet. Let's play some SVC Chaos. I have another question for you.
Yes, sir.
This is from Joe Fielder in Los Angeles, California. His question is, OMG, what's Jeff Gerstmann really like?
I can tell you Jeff Gerstmann is a very deep man. He's very deep, very caring. He feels you. He's a good guy. Jeff's a good guy. But he knows the answer to that. Joe Fielder, for those of you who don't know, he used to be the executive editor here. Now working for EA. Why don't you call us up and tell us what you're working on and share some info there. But
sweet. Let's play some SVC Chaos right here. I'm the big dude on the right. My name is Earthquake.
You are straight out of SNK, and I am straight out of Street Fighter because my name is Ken. And like the cool thing about this is not enabled in this version that we have. Is this is once again another fighting game that utilizes the power of online, which is, as we all know, is the way to go for fighting games. None of us have any friends that come over and play, or at the very least, we don't have anybody that's very good at games, so at least online we can find them. But yeah, so Rich, you're not doing any good either.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, the fighting games are not my thing, and I've been playing nothing but Burnout 3 these days. So if you want me to crash into like a semi really, really fast, I can do that for you all day long.
Will you do that live next week against people?
Sure. I think we actually have a whole team of Game Spiders that are waiting to
get it on,
play some online Burnout 3.
I wonder if we could get everybody in the office going with some of the folks at home all at once.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
We should try that. I have another question here for you.
Yes,
it's
sir.
from Zuba, Nebraska.
I'm still winning, by the way.
I'm reading questions. You should be winning. To get into the business that you guys are in, review, play, and introduce new games, what classes did you take? Did you go through college? Question isn't should I go to college because he's already there. He's just curious, like what was your degree, what was your major, anything to do with gaming, etc. I need someone way smaller, first of all. Well, I can answer you for GameSpot Live. We have guys from all walks of life. I was a film major at a small liberal arts school. It was mostly theory stuff, but I'll be this guy. And who else we got? Most of the guys, actually, I'd say it seems like everybody on the edit side of things went to Berkeley and was an English major, I think. Is that about right?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I think, Homer, what was your major?
Legal studies.
All right, Homer, our new guy Homer in GameSpot Live, he was a legal studies major at Cal. I think Bob had something to do with molecular biology. Jim went to the San Francisco Academy of Art, and
Terry Bogard is just destroying you.
Dude, I'm sorry while I'm trying to talk to the viewers and play this game, but basically, to get into this industry, it doesn't really matter what your major is, I'll say, just you have to have a love for games and you have to be able to write well. So if you, I just lost, didn't I?
Just badly.
So write as much as you can. The best practice is to actually write a free shot. What? But if you have more questions about this, try contacting the GameSpot editor whose style of writing you appreciate the most, and they'll try to write you back, I'm sure.
As I'm beating you with one button here, my man Austin Starr from San Diego, California says, Rich, stick with racing games. What else have you been playing lately?
Ouch, what else have I been playing lately? I'm going to be honest with you, I've been flipping back and forth between Madden 2005 and ESPN 2K5. And playing a lot of Dr. Mario on my NES because that's the only thing my girlfriend will play. But I like both football games a lot. But Burnout 3 is pretty much going to take up all my time. I want a game.
You want a match.
Whatever, I want a match. All right, I got. Well, we need more questions.
While you're going through the questions, I'm going to be talking about some SVC Chaos. So for all of you wondering at home how this game is, it is pretty awesome. I have to admit, like, I played SVC Chaos at one point in my life. And I'm getting the sign that we were out of time, but I'm going to keep going just for a little bit more if you don't mind. But yeah, I played SVC Chaos in Japan at one point in my life, I believe, on the arcade machine. And I don't remember it playing this fast or responsive. So I am definitely a happy man that this one is rocking with the good speed and is feeling pretty good. The one weird thing that I'm trying to get used to, but I guess I kind of got used to it now that I'm using my SNK guy. It was a little weird with Ken, but 4 buttons. You got the 4-button action.
I'm pressing like 20 buttons. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I'm talking about Street Fighter. Had weak, medium fears.
If you're wondering, this game comes out on September 28th. But if you want a little more instant gratification, you might remember last week we gave away a little thing I like to call a cat carrier.
Who won the cat carrier?
Our man Zhao something down in Southern California. He won this great cat carrier because Jeff cleaned out his
office.
Jeff cleaned out his office. We got him a cat carrier. The door opens and everything. I'm putting a DVD in it. But you want some cool swag from an office this week? I have for you a Beautiful Joe film canister. There's nothing in it. It's great. You can hold cookies in it. But if you want this, fill out the GameSpot complete form you see on the spot page right now. I want you to type Rich is better than Ryan at fighting games. The first person to do that with a mailing address wins this Beautiful Joe film canister. So get on it. Rich is better than Ryan at fighting games with a mailing address. First person to do that successfully will win this film canister. If not, I'll keep it and then get the shot in on Ryan.
While he's getting the shots in, I'm going to take the last questions before we finally sign off because everybody's looking at me like we got to go. But we're getting tons of questions in, by the way. Halo 2, and you're just beating me in the corner. What are you doing, dude?
Dude, take your question.
Oh, dude. All right. Tons of people are asking what the Halo Halo 2 coverage is going to be. I'm not going to spoil it. You got to come back at midnight. You got to see what that's all about yourself.
Stop fighting and talk to the people.
No way, dude. Sagat's going to just boom. Look
Put
at
another
that.
scar on your chest.
All right, I'll let you win that round. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we're just about out of time, and I think we should just sign off before we keep on rambling on with a bunch of questions.
Yeah, sure. And if you win the Beautiful Joe film canister, we will contact you. And our man Zhao down in Southern California, you can expect your E3 DVD and cat carrier coming very soon.
I think we got a winner, by the way.
Oh, really? Is this the official winner? Are you sure this is the first person to write in?
Yeah, this is definitely the first.
I'm not just
round.
asking you this to stall so I can say I won.
Oh yeah, you won a round. All right.
Sweet.
But yeah, Blycine is apparently our winner.
All right, cool. Congratulations. What was the name?
Blycine.
Blycine, sure. Congratulations.
Excellent. So I think that's about it from here.
I'm done.
I'm good. SVC Chaos, totally cool.
Yeah, I'll practice.
Right on. Until next week, be sure to join us every Thursday, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and send in your questions all week long. We'll be answering them once again, and we gotta get that phone and crazy internet webcam thing going here pretty quick. Roger, we're gonna do that, right? So we can get people talking to us and on the TV. But until next week, I'm Ryan McDonald.
I'm Rich Gallup. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Spot.